Hello everybody and welcome to What About the Game. Today I'm going to be talking about Space Hulk on the Wii U eShop. So if you don't know anything about Space Hulk, it's a franchise owned by Games Workshop. I don't particularly have an affinity towards them. My only experience with anything Games Workshop was painting my next door neighbor's Space Marine, but I did it so badly that I had to throw it away. But I've always thought they were cool, and I was looking forward to playing this game because it's a turn-based strategy game, which is a genre that I'm quite fond of. But to be honest, I really struggle to motivate myself to keep playing the game. It's one of the slowest, repetitive slogs of a game that I have ever played. So the game is about controlling Space Marines, completing missions, killing some baddies, and hopefully surviving the process. The stages are these really narrow, claustrophobic areas. You don't have room to fart. It's difficult maneuvering all your units around because they can't walk through each other. You only have a very small amount of action points to use. I find this game so restrictive. Each unit has 4 AP every round. Now these are your action points and you use them up when you want to do anything. If you walk, you use AP. Same with attacking, opening doors, even changing direction uses it. What I'm saying is you need a lot of AP to do anything meaningful, but you just don't have enough. You can barely do anything each turn. Just turning around takes up half of your points. And this is what makes the game so slow. You know, you're tiptoeing around the battlefield, barely having enough points to attack or move. It takes forever to go anywhere. You do have something called CP, which is the same as AP, but they're almost like reserve action points shared between the whole squad. Every round some CP is generated between 1 and 6 points, although sharing that between a squad of 10 units, it's not really that much help. The first thing you'll notice when playing the game is just how painfully slow the animations are. I know they've tried to go for realism, with them wearing those big heavy suits, but it just doesn't work for the game. Thankfully, in this version you can speed them up hugely, which helps a lot, but that still doesn't stop the game from being slow overall. Missions can sometimes last for an hour or even an hour and a half, and that's with the animation speeds being lightning fast. I didn't even think about what they could have been if it was on the default setting. The game mentally exhausted me. It's really difficult because if you take one hit, you die. Everything's based on dice rolls, so it's all luck. It's so difficult to even attack your enemy because most of the time it misses and you get counterattacked and die yourself. The bad guys are relentless too, they just don't stop coming, which adds to the game's slowness. You can't walk too far because you need to keep some ability points in reserve so you can attack. Like I said, tiptoeing around. Anytime I completed a mission, I needed to go and have a lie down for a while. I just couldn't bear facing the next one. The mission objectives are quite varied to the game's credit, but eventually they all play out the same way. It's walking down a corridor one step at a time, getting destroyed by the enemy. It's tiring, and I'll be honest, I didn't finish the game. I couldn't bear it. It's repetitive, slow, boring, and I don't want to sound like I'm throwing my toys out, but I think it's really unfair, with everything based on luck. It seems like everything is against you. The game originally came out in 2013, and I think it was dated even back then. You can see the game had a very limited budget. The animations aren't good at all. One nice thing about it is that the gamepad actually displays the first-person perspective of the unit that you're currently controlling. I wish more games would do this on the Wii U. Although in this one, the camera is usually just staring at the wall rather than down the corridor, so it doesn't quite work. There's no Pro Controller support, which is surprising, especially considering that there's a 2-player mode. You have to take turns with the gamepad, which is kind of ridiculous. One player controls the Space Marines, the other controls the bad guys. It is what it is. Maybe it's interesting for you if you and another die-hard fan of the franchise are together, but for me, it just wasn't interesting at all. But yeah, overall, Space Hulk was one of the most tiring, mentally exhausting slogs of a game. It's way too slow, it's way too repetitive, it's based on luck, and to be honest, I'm relieved I don't have to go back to it anymore. Okay guys, if you've enjoyed this video and you sympathize with my plight, then be sure to like and subscribe. That will make me feel a lot better. You can read a much more in-depth review of Space Hulk at whataboutthegame.com and keep up to date with everything that I do by following me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are below. Thanks guys, bye bye.